Good morning, everybody. Welcome to E17 Fan Zone. This is just a little update. It's just following from the last two videos, really. Again, thank you for all the feedback and the messages. It's been great to interact with other fans and hearing other people's opinions on the subjects in the videos. Whether you agree with me or not, that's it's always great to have those debates. One thing I want to sum up today very quickly: this channel is not a trolling campaign against Brian Harvey. It just isn't. Listen, and I wish you knew the history that I had with the band when I was at school. I absolutely loved E17. I'm in the 40s now, and but part of my growing up involves E17 and going to see them play and watching their videos and sing along to the songs. I've got nothing against Brian Harvey at all. This channel is not here to criticize Brian. However, it is here to maybe put an alternative view out there, put my opinion out there. We've talked about in my past videos what I want this channel to be is celebrate E17. I do not think this band get anywhere near the praise that they should. Their kind of part in pop history is diminishing. I think year by year. Yeah, they've got Staying on the Day that comes out every year. They'll always have that, but there's a lot more to E17. You guys, you know that. You know this as fans. There's a lot more to the band than Staying on the Day. Especially the Steam album. I mean, it's probably one of my least favorite songs on the album, and I'm here to have an alternative voice. To try and get the band back up. I'd love to speak to people. I'd love to have a chat with Brian. I'd love to have a chat with Tony or John or Terry and just talk about those days. Talk about memories, the favorite things, the favorite memories of being in that band. There's too much of a negative spin on E17, and the reason why I mention Brian as much as I do is because Brian's out there talking about E17 every day. Whether he likes it or not, he's not really talking about it in a positive way. And I feel that if he really thought about it and reflected and maybe got some help kind of dealing with a lot of things that he had to deal with at that time. It was awful. And again, I've said this in other videos that there's been one or two people who've said I'm trolling Brian. I'm really not trolling Brian at all. I'm a fan of Brian's. There's nothing more I'd love to see Brian out there. And I think he could be out there, I think, with the right team of people around him, people who care for him. He doesn't have to be in the industry anymore as much as he said that. These days, you don't have to. He could do gigs. Guys, as well as I do. Brian Harvey put a gig on. It was a good gig. He did a couple of gigs, a little tour of like kind of the O2 academies. They would sell out and he would do really well. And he would have all of his troubles to do with his housing stuff would go. And that's the thing for me. It doesn't have to be like this for Brian. I know he's got fights that he has to fight, and I absolutely appreciate that. And who am I to question those? At the end of the day, the phone hacker thing. Come on, I mean, there's no doubt about it. There's more than enough weight in that. Everything else, I don't know. Are these battles that Brian should be taking? Should Brian be speaking on behalf of Tony? You just don't know. As much as Brian says it's for him to tell the story. It is, but we don't know the back behind what allegedly has happened. And it's kind of I suppose that's Tony's story to tell. And he might have come to terms with what happened or what didn't happen. Who knows? But listen, this isn't a trolling campaign against Brian Harvey. It really isn't. I love the band. I want to celebrate their albums. Someone mentioned Resurrection in a comment today. 100%. Each time, if you're talking about the singles that the band released, each time has to be in the top 5. Easy. And I guess that does back up a point that I'm not trolling Brian. I've said that. Brian could have a career. I don't think that necessarily what happened to him has affected his career. He proved that after E17. He proved that after the Ecstasy comments. It came back. He had a top-selling single. That single is known, the Gabrielle single. I'm sure Brian pushed for that to be released because, he did that on tour with T Green years ago. And yeah, look, I'm really passionate about the band. I've kind of come full circle in my life. I'm rediscovering things that I loved when I was younger, and E70, as I said, are right up there, and let's celebrate the band. But listen, everybody, I'm not trolling Brian. If you disagree with some of the things that I say, fantastic. Let me know. We'll have a little debate. We'll discuss it. If you do agree with me, even better. Let's go further